Hey guys, this is the FPL Tips team, and welcome back to another deadline stream. Apologies because we couldn't put out a preview video, and hence we are here together to discuss quickly the talking points of the of this week. Some important questions to be addressed. What are our views about it, and a lot of deadline questions. So we'll quickly skim through the important questions, and then we'll be taking up Q&A for most part of the video. Hi, Akhilesh.
Hello. Yeah, fourth Friday deadline in a row.
Yeah.
We are used to doing Friday deadlines now.
Yep, and let's just quickly skim through. Let's not waste even an ounce of time for us
Yeah.
and the audience. Let's quickly get into the main talking point and question of this week. Obviously, which midfielders to sell and which midfielders to buy. Take us through the data.
Yeah, I think there are quite a few different questions around this, and some of it is team dependent. But I think the major midfielders who are coming into the picture are Sterling, Foden, Madison, and for people who don't have Mbumo. But I just put up a list of the stats of all the people uh, from the midfield price bracket, from 6.3 all the way till Bruno. So yeah, so we can take you through them. I think yeah, Sterling, Foden, Madison are the ones which stand out because Madison purely because he's very central to Spurs. He's looking at like their talisman. He's leading their stats in every single attribute, and yeah, he pretty much looks the guy for Spurs. And Sterling is also someone who I have been considering through this week, and I am also put in a dilemma where I need to choose between Madison and Sterling. I already have Foden in my team. Sterling has when if you pull out the fixture, Sterling has better fixtures than Madison over the next 4 or 5 weeks, and Madison has a better long-term fixtures because he has that Arsenal away and Liverpool home sandwich between the fixtures. Uh, but Sterling looks quite central. Like the Luton game, it might be Luton tax, it might be just one game where he's performed, but he's looked promising. Even the first two games, I think he's looked lively. He didn't get shots in the box, he didn't get involved too much, but then I think he's probably had a conversation with Pochettino, and he's come up with uh, basically he looks to want to score more goals now, and he looks so much more central. Yeah, what do you think about it?
Yeah, so I mean it's pretty much in terms of data. We know that I think Madison has great data. There's no doubt about it. Sterling obviously with the Luton game has exceptional data now, and Foden has been putting data in enough. But let's say we know the data. Everything is out there. Let's just quickly help why. What is your ranking and why? And I also have because I might have a slightly different ranking. I'm also in the same boat where I have Foden. I don't have Sterling and Madison, and I will be picking one of them. And I have a reasoning of why I'm doing so. So let's just make it easier for our audience quickly.
Yeah, um, yeah, I think I'm also leaning towards Madison for this week, given his long-term fixtures, and I am not sure when I'll probably be wildcarding. That's one reason, and the other reason I don't think tripling up in Chelsea is a bad reason, but I think I want a piece of Spurs. I think they and the main piece of Spurs is Madison, and Madison, yeah, he just pretty much sums up how good, how crucial he is for that team, and I expect him to get more returns in the coming weeks. And he does play defenses which are quite leaky in I mean, if you can bring out the team stats, I think he plays
Okay.
Burnley, Sheffield, and then Liverpool, and then also he plays Luton and Fulham. These are five teams which are very leaky in defense, and four of those teams are probably so. You see, for expected goals conceded, Fulham are the worst. Are also the worst for big chances conceded, and Luton has played probably like one game less than the others, and they also look quite bad from the games we've seen. Uh, and same being said for Sheffield, same being said for Burnley, and these are games where someone like Madison, who's just So I'm repeatedly saying he's so central for Spurs,
But
can really feast in these fixtures.
so I have a different take to this for people watching it. Madison seems like the better guy. Although I'm not picking Madison for people interested, I will not be picking Madison this gaming. I'm going with Sterling, and I buy the theory where it's triple up Chelsea, and it is pretty much a lot. But two reasons for me going Sterling over Madison. One, I feel is Brennan Johnson. For people who don't know, that Tottenham have signed a striker. Brennan Johnson has been included into the team, so I want to see one how they line up, how they match up and flare. That's something because if he starts more often, and maybe he might be, he's a guy who demands the ball. So then Madison's role slightly could change. That's one sort of a reason. The major part of my reason and not picking Madison right now is the fixtures next up, which is Burnley and Sheffield. I really don't like it. Burnley are a high pressing, high pressure team. I don't think Spurs will play that, and it's not like Madison is a great runner uh, with the ball. He's not pacey. Let's say even if you assume they're high pressing, they counter attack. It will Son and Kulusevski and Richarlison are the ones who will benefit most out of that game. I don't think so. Madison benefits extremely. Maybe an assist here or there, but again, I'm okay with that. The second game, Sheffield. I don't think Sheffield is the Sheffield people consider. Yes, they're weak, but against the big teams, they always try to set up deep. Even against Man City, irrespective of what the scoreline is and how many shots they conceded, they set it up deep and they did not want to attack. They've been doing this last season as well when they were in the Premier League. This season as well, there's a pattern, and I think it will come up as well in the future. They are a team who will defend first against the big size and not really attack. Again, so from a explosive point of view, I don't like that fixture. And the next two then are Arsenal. I think it's Liverpool Arsenal or some sort of similar
Arsenal away and
combination.
Liverpool home.
Yeah. So my logic and my theory in my team is I already have Foden, I have Sterling. Sterling obviously is still game week 8 and 9. By the time Madison plays those teams, I can figure out who to downgrade out of Foden and Sterling, and then maybe do I want Brennan Johnson if he's starting regularly, and then I can jump on Madison. I know Madison could still be involved in a couple of assists, and he's probably the better pick, but I have my reasonings to not go that side as well.
Yeah, fair. I think it's pretty very close between the two players, honestly. And Spurs Sterling could like Sterling has Hall fixtures himself, right? He also has games like uh, Nottingham Forest at home. He has Burnley away after that, or
Yeah.
Bournemouth away, which is again Bournemouth are looking quite leaky as well. Bournemouth will be open as well as we've repeatedly pointed out. And then they have Aston Villa at home, which is a home fixture, but I feel like there could be goals in that as well. But I mean, the only thing is, I think Chelsea are still not get like are still in the process of getting back into being a good attack. So there could be hiccups here and there, which is what I'm anticipating from the next few games. Their fixtures are obviously great, but there could be games where they probably just edge a 1-0 or a 2-1 or something, and Sterling could not be involved in these things. So this is something I'm probably being a little skeptical about. That being said, I think he's pretty much a solid pick. I think he's going to be very central to what Chelsea do as well,
Yeah,
and
so
he'll be playing with more confidence.
there could be a case where Sterling is shifted back to the right because we are still trying to implement a 4-2-3-1 with with Cole Palmer coming in, players we are targeting. I think that is very likely possible, but I would still go with Sterling at the upside. The fixtures in the next two game weeks are too good to ignore for Sterling, I think.
Yeah, but I would also not completely agree with the fixtures in the next two game weeks being good only for Sterling and not for Madison. I think
No,
Burnley
I
away and Sheffield home are
by data, I
just
think yes. Uh, I think the game versus Burnley will not play out for like for the Madison, especially for Spurs. Also, it's not going to be an easy game. So that's how I see football, and that's what I think that it will not be an easy game. That is why I'm betting against it.
yep, fair.
Yep.
What about Foden? I think for
I
owners
have
who don't
Foden.
have
So
Foden.
for people who don't have Foden, I think he's a good option. But I wouldn't put him above these two because these two are pretty much guaranteed minutes. When there is an EFL Cup versus Newcastle or a Champions League, there is always going to be rotation risk with Foden, and that doesn't come along with Sterling or Madison. Also, just the goal
That's the
involvement
point. Yeah.
percentage. Yeah,
That's a point I was thinking about as well. But I think the group in the Champions League is pretty much straightforward. And the one thing against Sheffield, which we've also discussed in the review pod, is without Foden, they weren't as creative. Like they didn't have create that, like you didn't see that creativity. I think they shared it among themselves. Alvarez was a bit creative, Grealish was a bit creative, Bernardo Silva was a bit creative. But look, when Foden plays, everything goes through Foden. And the Fulham fixture, especially, I think, is something he probably will relish, and he's definitely going to start this fixture. So for a very short term, I think Foden stands out, but yeah, long term, I would be little bit skeptical about his minutes, and also that he hasn't created a big chance yet, and he's been involved only in one big chance.
Yeah.
That's something I think would change in the next week, but that's also something to note for Foden right now. So I think he stands third out of the midfielders
Yeah, for me,
so
he's
far.
third too. Yeah. There,
Yeah, I
there is a
think
huge explosive ceiling with this game week, but then again, going ahead, maybe not. Also, Paulinia might not be playing. But I think the deal is off. I read somewhere that the deal is off.
deal is off. Deal
Yeah,
looks
so
off, but I mean it playing
I don't
tomorrow
know
is
if
just going
he'll
to be
play
too
or
much for
not
him.
tomorrow. Yeah, yeah, same.
Yeah,
He might be in
I
bad
don't
shape.
think he'll play tomorrow.
Yeah,
He's in Munich and he'll come back, and I mean I think the team sheet would already be ready by
yep.
tomorrow, and
I
I
think
don't
it's a
know.
game on Sunday though, so maybe he can make it.
No, it's
No, it's
game on
tomorrow.
Saturday at
Yeah, it's
seven
tomorrow.
at
Sorry. Yeah.
yeah 7:30 Indian
Okay,
time, so that's probably 3 p.m.
we've discussed enough about who to buy, who to sell, is the question. Now there are four or five. Again, we touched upon this a bit in the review video. There are 4 or 5 candidates, which is Sterling. No, sorry, Rashford. There's Bruno, obviously. There's Saka, Martinelli, and then there's sort of Odegaard and Mitoma. I think let's put Saka and Bruno out of this conversation because I think they're firmly a hold. I don't think either of us recommend selling these two guys.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely hold them. They're non-negotiable for me.
Yeah. But now it comes down to Martinelli, Rashford, Mitoma, and I think Odegaard. Between the four, who's your sell priority list? Like rank, who's
Number
first to
one
sell?
would be Odegaard
Okay.
because uh, I don't see his underlying numbers are not appealing to me. We showed that in the review.
Yeah.
0.25 in the game against Fulham, and it's been somewhere around 0.15 expected goal involvement before that. So, but that changed against Fulham for Martinelli. So I think I have Odegaard as number one to sell. And now that Saka got back penalties, it's gonna be just the odd penalty that Odegaard will be taking. And yeah, so I think Odegaard is probably a sell. And these sort of games, I'm not sure how many shots he'll be taking as well. Second is probably who are the other ones? Mitoma, Martinelli,
Mitoma,
and
Martinelli,
Rashford.
and Rashford.
Second, I'm probably thinking Mitoma because I think he's overperformed his XG quite a bit. He's probably out of this list, he's overperformed his XGI the most. And Brighton will
And
continue
there's
to be quite
also
attacking, quite
Ansu
exciting,
Fati
but
now with rotation out there. Yeah. Ansu Fati will challenge for
It,
that
it
position.
is it is a rotation risk, but I think Mitoma is still probably going to be
I
nailed.
just
But their group in Europe is quite tricky. They have Ajax and Olympic Marseille in the same group, and I think they also travel to Greece. So
yeah.
with the Europa League coming in, I think they'll be fielding quite a strong lineup then. So there will be probably here and there either fatigue or minutes being compromised, and the fixtures are not great as well. So from the attacking point of view, maybe Mitoma gets a return or two, but I think they have uh, a good enough attackers that if the goal involvements can be spread around. So I think with chasing upside from with the other midfielders, just I think just comes into the picture and probably makes me sell Mitoma more. Martinelli is probably going to be third because you still don't know when Jesus will be starting, and you haven't seen the returns from him, and also the fixtures. I think they have United have much better fixtures than Arsenal. Arsenal have a couple of away games which could be cagey. I think Everton and Bournemouth could go either way. It can be 4-0, 5-0, or a 1-0 or a 2-1 or something. It could be cagey. And Arsenal, you can bring up the team stats. They have had about 6.5 xG so far, and out of which 1.6 is from penalties. So as a team, they are not creating. as many chances with even with like great fixtures in the first three games. So personally, I think Martinelli will be fourth. Sorry, third. I'm also probably going to be removing Martinelli in the
Yeah.
next few minutes. But just doesn't like I have that small FOMO as well because Martinelli could come back and just get back his mojo and he can start scoring. He can start getting into the box,
I mean,
which we saw glimpses of it against Fulham as well. But there's too much of an unknown with around him right now, and he'll probably also be dropping value. And I think there are better upside picks around, so he's probably going to be third. And Rashford is fourth because I think around Rashford he has great fixtures, and now that he's going to go on the left, I think he'll probably start in getting involved in it still more. And, and I think yeah, I want to see the United mids for the next couple of weeks. I think Brighton at home is a good fixture. Burnley again is a good fixture is from a Rashford point of view. So yeah, I'd probably hold Rashford more than I'd hold Martinelli from my team scenario point of view as well.
so
What do you think about
I
that?
agree with the ratings, and I think for people who want to buy other mids, I think we didn't touch upon Buemo, but I'll just add it. I
Mm.
don't think Akhilesh will have a different point of view. I think Mbuemo is fourth in my list. If you don't have him by now, I wouldn't prioritize him because the fixtures are really like, sort of tricky, and he's not like an explosive option. I think given the fact Madison Sterling are better explosive option in Foden, I would go there, and Buemo is like fourth choice for me. I think you agree on this as
Yeah,
well, yeah.
pretty much. Only one thing I'd like to point out is in open play, I think he's underperformed his
But
XGI massively. So
I
that could come back. But I think overall,
but also in
I'd
context,
hold off from Mbeumo.
like
Yeah,
out of 20 shots, Brentford have only 5 shots from open play. So does he really get that many open play chances? Also,
yeah.
sort of a thing. Yeah, I
Fair
don't think
enough.
so. It really matters.
I'd have him fourth on the list because the other three are
Yeah.
clearly more explosive, and they play for teams where you'll just constantly be creating more and more chances.
So
But
people buying again, yeah, and for selling as well, I would prioritize selling Martinelli out of the big guns first. I He could work out and he could like find his form, but as of now, it doesn't look like the case. So I would first sell him. Second looks like for me, obviously, if you have Mitoma, second should be Mitoma or Odegaard, and third I would consider selling Rashford. If he's the only midfielder you have out of this list, I would still consider selling Rashford and not holding on to it. Uh, I get the fixtures are there, but if you have Bruno plus Rashford, I would hold on to Bruno and then sell Rashford.
yeah, I mean, I think holding on to Bruno is like a no-brainer.
Yeah, you should because he's just
I just feel,
he the routes to points by Bruno is much more than Rashford at the moment, and
and
yeah, I would
he's
like to
also
see more.
comfortably been involved in more big chances than anyone else so far, and I think it's gonna be continuing to be that way. He looks back to the Bruno we know, so
Yep.
I think at 8.5 is probably gonna be a long-term stay in my team. Looks great.
Let's
I think the
quickly
halls will come.
Yeah, let's quickly touch upon midfielders as well. Sorry, defenders as well. A lot of people
Oh,
have
yes.
defenders question. Gabriel replacement. If you have like other, if that's your fire to put out in a midfielder buy, would you take a hit for a Gabriel plus a midfielder?
Again, if you depends on your bench.
No, no.
Uh,
Let's say you have something like a Baldock on your bench and Bayer on your bench, who is pointless fixtures. Would you take a hit for a
I
defender?
think I don't know. I think Baldock against Everton at home is a fair enough fixture
But we don't. Baldock
for
is
you
like sort of
to.
injury concern, right? He might not start.
No, he played last week. He played
Okay.
against
Again,
City
he
last
shows
week,
flagged on my
and he
no.
came off in the 70th minute or something. But I don't. I mean, I am a manager who would not take hit unless I can like if I can field 11 where there is even a little bit clean sheet potential. I think this is also a game where Sheffield will want to win. It's Everton and it's almost a early season relegation battle game. So I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't take the hit if I have able bench. And even Kabore, I probably would play him because Luton are playing at home for the first time. It could be a different atmosphere, and it's a night fixture. And looking at West Ham, they might be the team that probably like takes points of better teams and gives it away for the lesser like the worst teams. So there is a possibility, and Kabori looks quite lively, looks the most attacking. out of the defenders. So I probably would be leaning towards, but only slightly. Uh, but I don't know. I don't see there being too many options to sell Gabriel as well. I think Udogi stands out.
Yeah,
Udogi is
Udogi stands
probably the
out for
best
me as well.
best
Yeah.
option for now. But I don't know. Burnley could get Nick in a goal as well. So I don't
I
think the
mean,
hit will be justified.
obviously we can't predict clean sheets, and I don't think so. We should even get into that questionnaire of who could keep a clean sheet. But hands down, looking at like replacements, I think Udogi stands out for you as well. Obviously, Chilwell is like a supreme option. Uh, a lot of people confused between Cash, Henry, and Udogi. I think Udogi is first on my list because he's more attacking. So obviously that side, and the fishes look decent. Second for me is Henry. The fixtures look better there. With Cash again, Moreno could be back in a couple of weeks, especially after the international break. And by the looks of it, Cash is the one who will drop out. And despite his form, Cash wouldn't be in the team. Also, Villa have to rotate ahead. So I think Cash will become the part of like the sort of a European side competition team and like the EFL Cup, etc., but not the Premier League. So I would actually rank first Udogi and then go to Henry and then maybe Cash. Wouldn't
Yeah, I
also a
pretty
lot of
much
people
agree
into
with that.
Gusto. I don't think you should buy Gusto. So there are some rumors
No.
coming out that James could be eyeing after the international break of foreign recovery, maybe start here and there. Gusto is a short term, but it also really blocks you out for the third Chelsea slot, which you want to be Chilwell, Sterling, and Jackson. So I wouldn't really go there.
Yeah, even if you choose to go for a Foden or a Madison ahead of Sterling, next week or the week after that you might want Sterling. So I
Yeah.
think the fixtures continue to be good until game 8. So even a 3 week period you can probably have Sterling. So I wouldn't be too happy blocking out that third Chelsea spot. Right? And
Yep.
it's just the transfers that's not gonna like I think the ship has sailed with Gusto as well. He's got a 14-point haul. I don't think you're gonna get that again.
No, he'll get points,
So
but not a haul. Yeah.
he'll get points, but not a haul like that. And I think Chilwell is pretty much the main Chelsea defender. If you don't have Chilwell, I think prioritize bringing in Chilwell still. Uh, and if you do have Chilwell, I clearly think Udogi is the best option.
Yep. And I think that's about it. Like those are the burning like main questions for this game week. Let us know in the chat. I think we've touched upon defenders. There's no forwards to discuss. There's Jao Pedro again, but he's a clear sell. I think Welbeck is injured. If there's some news that Welbeck is injured, he won't be starting tonight this game week. So if you still have Pedro, if you are forced to play him, you can. I
Yeah,
would
I
or
think
I
you don't need to sell him for a hit now. So now that
I would
the
ideally
only
even play
scenario
Archer over Pedro. Honestly, I would not even start Pedro.
probably yeah, I think
Yeah.
that could be a game where Sheffield could go and attack as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would play Archer as well. But if you don't have Archer and if you think the only scenario where I'd say hold Pedro is if you think you have to remove Pedro for a -4, uh, or if you're priced out of a Visa or something. So if you can't
Yeah.
move from Pedro to Visa, or if you need to take a hit, I'd say hold Pedro, play him. I think he starts this week with Welbeck out, but Welbeck only has a minor injury. So after the international break, we could see him coming back and
Yeah.
Welbeck and Ferguson playing in the front row. So that's with Pedro, I think. The other one, I think Jackson would probably a priority buy if you have the money.
If you no,
Now that
I disagree actually. Right now, if you have the money, if you don't have any Chelsea players in your team, I would rather go Sterling first and go Wissa. I wouldn't
no for
go.
forwards, I'm looking at forwards.
Yeah, I would not buy
I'm
Jackson this game week. Honestly,
if you want to if you have Joao Pedro and if you want to sell him have the money, then I'd probably still go Jackson.
I might
Jackson's
still
still my number one.
I would go
Or I
Wissa.
might just go all the way to Watkins as number two. I think Watkins against
No,
Liverpool away is still a very good
I mean
picture.
if you
And if you
want to
have
spend,
Watkins, yeah, I guess. But if you have Watkins, I'd say hold him as well because Liverpool away is a good fixture. Liverpool have conceded 9 big chances already. They're gonna be without that first choice centre backs, which is Konate and Van Dijk. And yeah, I think there will be chances for
they'll
Aston Villa to get in
yeah.
behind the Liverpool defense.
I but again I might not buy Jackson this game week. I just feel like the third then maybe use the third spot better because I wouldn't invest too much on Chelsea. I think priority should be Sterling. He's on pens as well most likely. As far as I can read the team, he's there on penalties if there is a chance. And I wouldn't want to like I
Yeah,
would
fair
priority
enough.
Sterling.
But if you don't have moves to make in the midfield and if you want to make it in the forward line,
I wouldn't.
and if you want to remove a Joao Pedro, say
I mean, if you're
then
when you say
probably
you don't have moves to make in midfield, you're pretty much assuming that someone has Sterling or Madison at least.
yes,
And
yeah,
if not both, so
like
yeah. So in that case, if you have Sterling already, I would not again. I will not then invest all of my eggs in one basket, which is Chelsea. Then I would not go Jackson. And if you don't have Sterling, it comes down to the point again: buy Sterling. Again, because of his positioning, I think Sterling is the exclusive option, and I don't trust Chelsea. Obviously, when you look at from the other side, if you don't have Sterling, he becomes a priority because of the outlet of points he has. And let's say you now have Jackson, you're stuck with him, you will still buy Sterling because in isolation he's good. But when you combine them, I don't think I will buy Jackson if I have Sterling because I don't want to invest too much in Chelsea. That's probably the
probably
logic.
agree
Yeah,
with that.
yeah.
Yeah,
And if you buy beside, also allows you to let go of Buemo to a Diaby very soon, which is great, a great outlet, I think.
yeah, I'm also eyeing Mbumo to a Diaby, especially when Aston Villa's fixtures turn in game week 8.
Yeah.
I mean, not Mbumo. I'm eyeing a Diaby from maybe a Rashford. I don't have Mbumo in my team.
Yep. Okay. There's some confirmation that Luis Sinistera, the guy from Leeds, is joining Bournemouth. So there's that news out there. No transfer news apart from that. Uh, nice snippet to add the transfer news in between. Okay, we have like do we have anything else to cover from this game week? No, I think those were the major talking points.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can touch upon goalkeepers.
Oh yeah,
If
we need to touch upon a bit of goalkeepers as well.
Pickford has just not kept a clean sheet again. Oh, Divock Origi is going to move to Nottingham Forest, which is just one of the latest
Okay.
transfer also. Quite
Again,
interesting.
strange transfer.
Strange transfer, but yeah, I mean, they have quite a few attackers
Yeah,
who could
Nottingham have
be
like a very deep
tasty.
squad, yeah, for like the ranking they
Yeah,
get in the
I
Premier
think
League.
their signing of Ibrahim Sangare has also made me look at Nottingham. I think they'll be a much better defense this
Yeah.
year, and they've also had promising numbers in the first 3 games, even though they've played United away and Arsenal away already. And more would be said from how they set up against Chelsea and City in the next 3 games. And then I probably think they are a solid team defensively, and they should be comfortably staying ahead if they play the way they are playing right now.
I was just checking their midweek game versus Burnley. They still managed to concede 1.45 xg, like two big chances, despite having a back three and a midfield four with like five defenders, two CMs. So still looks like a team which will consider. Aurier is starting for them. There's Montiel who started. That's what I wanted to know. Yeah, and looks like there's still a team who will who want to defend, but again will concede chances right, left, down, center.
Probably, yeah. Maybe they are just a better defense against the teams which are going to attack them,
Yep.
and might be leaky against teams where the games might be a little more open.
Okay, we have like I have the keeper ticker that we prepared. I think this, which is Luton play Areola. So this is Areola first, and then we have Pickford.
So I
Take
can
us through.
take you through this because this is just a plan I was having on the top of my mind because I have Johnston currently, who Hodgson confirmed that is going to start this week, and he probably looks set to start a few more games because he's in England international. He's also the number one right now, and it's not going to be easy to justify. That being said, Henderson is also not bought for being a number two as well, right? So it's a very, very interesting situation, and I would prefer to move away from them as soon as possible. And now with Areola, if you just like after game week 6, game week 7 onwards, Areola has Sheffield at home, Everton at home in 10, then Nottingham Forest at home in 12, then Burnley away in 13, Crystal Palace in 14, Fulham at 16, Wolves in 17. And if you look at Turner, who's 4.0 on the next slide, you can flip to that.
Yeah.
He rotates brilliantly with Areola, which I noticed. I think then the 8.1 the 8.1 combination of Areola and Turner can just so for now I think I have Johnston. So next week I'll probably be playing Turner ahead with the Burnley home. And then game week 7, if you bring in Areola plays in game week 7 with Sheffield home fixture. Then game week 8 and 9 you can play Turner, and game week 10 you can play Areola. who has a great fixture. And game week 11, 12, 13, 11, 12, 13, I think you can switch around. There are quite a few fixtures. And then when in game week 18, when Ariola's fixture goes bad again, you can probably play Turner again. I think they rotate a bit well for a long term as well. So whenever you want to play a wild card, you can. And if you want funds to reduce your goalkeeper, this could be a viable way to go ahead. And I'm not totally against that 8.1
Keeper
goalkeeper
compensation.
strategy, especially if you want Newcastle assets, which we will be discussing more when
Next week,
through
I
the
think,
international break and next time.
because
I
of
think they,
Botman's
they
injury.
become more appealing assets then. Botman is injured, but he could still
I
feature. He could still come back this week.
Yeah, I have
But
like a different view on Newcastle this after the Champions
yeah,
League draw.
it's a very mixed field.
Yeah.
They have very difficult Champions League draw. They have very difficult Man City Carabao Cup fixture in the middle of their beautiful fixture run in the Premier League. When you look at their yeah, so Sheffield away, Burnley home, West Ham away, Crystal Palace home, and they just cramp between a lot of difficult Champions League fixtures.
Okay, so
So we can discuss more about them in the coming weeks. But if you need funds, I think just downgrading your keeper looks a viable option.
yep, I am sort of finding out if there was any news, but looks like okay. We're down to 30 minutes, so we'll start with more of the Q&A and then quickly do our teams as well. I have what I love to call the bench graphic over here as well with me, and we have some text. Okay, Achilles, we'll start to read our chat. Try to put stuff in benching order, and that will help our audience figure out what should they do in that situation. That's
Yeah.
something we usually do. Okay, let's start taking questions from the chat. We'll start taking it one by one. Bench between Estupinian, Baldock, and Trippier. Yeah,
Uh,
let's start with that.
Baldock number one, so you bench Baldock like priority. Then I think I'd play Trippier ahead of Estupinian.
So our order becomes Trippier. We have Estupinian. This is going to be an interesting one. Baldock. I pretty much.
Yeah, I think it's close between Trippier and Estupinian, but this could be a game where Newcastle would want to bounce back from their disappointment last week. And even though it's away from home, I think they can just uh, create much more chances than Brighton do. And Brighton will also be quite attacking in open, so I expect
Yeah.
both teams to score. I think Pickford, Trippier just has slightly the better chance of clean sheet, and he's going to be attacking well enough. So
Yeah.
that's how I
Okay.
think.
Yeah, and there's a question by Deep. I think he wants to do the Johnston to Areola as his second free transfer. I wouldn't recommend. I think save if you have a second free transfer and no fires to put out in your team. I think save next game week you will make better use of it. Yeah, I
Hmm.
think that's pretty much.
Yeah, Ariola has City and Liverpool in the next two games where I think they're surely going to concede
Yeah.
both games. And Johnston is going to start this week against Wolves at home, which Hodgson did confirm in the press conference. So start Johnston this week and leave the decision to a future game week.
Sell any of the double Arsenal / United mids. Have Foden, Haaland, Jackson up front. I wouldn't sell double Arsenal or double United. Again, save Saka and Bruno and sell the other two. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. If you have two transfers, I'd sell both Rashford and Martinelli.
Yeah.
If you have one transfer, as we spoke before, Martinelli.
Yep. There's another benching. I think this one is good. There's first a selling question. Saliba, Martinelli, Pedro. Which two to remove on priority? I would remove Martinelli and Pedro.
Yeah, I think pretty much the same because
Saliba has
Martinelli
some good
because
fixtures coming up still left
yeah.
till game week 10.
Mostly Martinelli because of the plethora of options in midfield.
Yeah.
And Pedro because you have to remove him.
We
Yeah.
have Saliba, Baldock, Kabure, Estupinian. Which two to start? So now in the list we have to put Saliba and Kabure into that list now, which is where it is slightly get interesting. For me, Saliba.
I like being a little daring when it comes to this.
Yeah, I'm
So
starting Kabure too.
probably I'd start Kaburi.
But
And
over
then
who?
no,
Over Estupinian?
Estupinian, then Kabure, Baldock, no, Saliba, then Baldock.
So for me, it's I would start Trippier first, and second would be Saliba. I would not start Estupinian second.
So you meant Kabure. first.
No, actually, how I'm doing it, my team, as I think, I would start Trippier, Estupinian because of his attacking threat. I would start Kabure third, and then I'm looking at Saliba. I am also
Oh,
banking on
you
United to
want to
score.
add it on?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. So the list is now Trippier, Estupinian, Kabure, Saliba, Baldock for us.
I think there's a case to start Kabure ahead of Estupinian also. But you
So
don't know about it. There's a
no,
small gamble over there.
the thing is, I
But
don't see a
yeah.
clean sheet for obvious reasons. I don't see clean sheets either side. It's attacking threat again, and Saliba has almost nil attacking threat, which adds no appeal to it. I think
No, I'm
United will
talking
score
about
in this one.
Estupinian and Kabure.
Again, yeah,
Because
exactly. But
I
Estupinian is more attacking than Kabure in that sense, and then I would start
very
him
much.
over.
But Newcastle are a solid defense,
Yeah, so
which
but
is
even West Ham are West Ham are a decent attack. So in terms of clean sheet, we're not looking at really
yeah. I
clean sheet and
think
attacking
other
output is
than
the
the
only
City
one.
defenders, I think nobody has clean sheet.
Yeah.
But with City defender, I saw could shoot Guardiola stats. I think you start Guardiola ahead of all of these. But there is a possibility he could miss out this week. In some of the Twitter forums where the predictions of the league lineups
Saliba.
very early. And I take it with a pinch of salt for now, and I would be starting Guardiola also.
Oh.
Yeah, personally, I would be starting Guardiola, but yeah, there are a few rumors around.
I wouldn't really pay attention to Guardiola rumors. I think pretty much nailed on guy.
Yeah, so,
There,
yeah,
there is
probably.
some there is some rumors going around, but I won't really pay too much attention to it. Start Guardiola if you have him. There's no reason why you should bench him in such an easy fixture. There's a question just addressed to me. I think best Estupinian or Sar if I had to play one. Uh, Personally, I would play Sar. There's an attacking output there. There is a ceiling. He's been getting inside the box. He's taking shots, so I would play Sar.
I
I
would play Estupinian.
I don't see a clean sheet, but see again,
I don't see a very huge ceiling for Sar. I think it's
yeah,
just a
but I
couple
don't
of
see a
games.
clean sheet either. Yeah.
The defensive midfielder. Yeah, fair enough, but probably a little attacking. Yeah, but coming back to the Guardiola point, I think he's not a buy this week. So if you're looking to buy Guardiola, I don't see. I think
I think
it would be
Akanji
safer to
also.
buy Diaz.
I think
I
Akanji is
wouldn't buy
back.
Akanji also.
No,
Akanji is
Akanji
back,
is
but I
back.
would
Akanji is back. I would buy him if honestly. It between
probably ahead of Guardiola, but I think Diaz
yeah.
is the safest if you want
But
to
again,
buy
it's
a
a
City
different
defender.
price point we're talking about when Diaz comes into the picture. Between
Yeah.
the two, I think which are similar price point, I always prefer Akanji. He can play multiple positions, and I like him. He's pretty much nailed usually.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's some Baldock news. Oh yeah, there's some transfer news regarding Baldock as well. So there was a thing. I think there was some interest from a German club, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that is why I said that Baldock is not available. Yeah, there's some news around Baldock. There's also some rumors, and a lot of people asking, would you not play Baldock over Kabure if you had both, because of like Everton's lack of goals. But Everton is one of the highest underperforming XG team. They've like accumulated decent amount of XG. I would not take a chance of Baldock. And Sheffield don't look like the team. Maybe they do. It's actually a tough 50-50. I might, but I just want to go with Luton. The vibes with Luton. Maybe I might just go Baldock and let's see. But looks most likely Kabure because Kabure is also more attacking than Baldock. That's actually a 50-50. I'm still deciding when people are still mentioning. A lot of questions between Rashford and Pedro. I think Rashford. There's no doubt about it.
There's no doubt. Yeah. Well, if I have Rashford, I wouldn't be benching him for anyone.
No
I
chance.
mean,
Don't bench.
there are just questions around. If you have even Archer or someone, you're not going to start him ahead of Rashford.
No, I don't think so. With our Madison captain, I want to go differential this week. This week, as a differential, maybe Bowen if you have him. Apart from that, when you look at the fixtures for differentials, I don't see a standout guy.
Sterling probably, but I know no need to go differential this week. This is a week where there is a high,
If you want to go differential, maybe go
it was
Foden. I think or Alvarez,
Probably.
not out of. No, maybe go someone
not out
differential
of
in the
Man
City. Yeah, not out of Man City.
yeah, and if there was an alternative world where the double game weeks didn't exist, this is a triple captain fixture for Haaland. So that just should probably uh, make you feel that you should not go anywhere else other than just stick with Haaland. So this is not the week to go differential.
Okay. They start Solanke or Colville. I would start Solanke. Colville some injury concern there. Okay, and there's There's a question. Estupinan to Baldock for to which defender? To win in the bank. Estupinan or Baldock, sorry. Or Martinelli to Madison. I would do Martinelli to Madison. I would leave Estupinan for now, for two reasons. I just want to check how Trippier is playing in the system without Botman. If he's attacking still, creating enough chances, then I would like to buy him. And like how overall Newcastle look, and that can be done by 1 week of like at least 1 week of data this week. That is why I think first should be a midfield transfer. You agree? I think.
Yeah, midfield transfer is priority.
Yeah. Martinelli, Rashford, who to sell? Again, quickly for people who joined late and not completed, I'll just sum it up. Our rankings for midfielders to buy this week is for Achilles, it was Madison, Sterling, then Foden, and then Mbeumo. For me, it was a bit different. It was Sterling first, then Madison, then Foden, then Mbeumo. And players to sell, if you want to buy these players, who should you sell first? I think first should be Martinelli in our opinion. If you have Mitoma or Odegaard first, Mitoma/Odegaard, then Martinelli, and then Rashford as a sell. This then some
I
sort
think
of
popularly Mitoma people have, so Mitoma, Martinelli, and Rashford is just like a nice place to keep. Yeah.
more questions. I'm getting rid of Martinelli for Sterling with one free transfer. Should I use the second free transfer to get rid of Pickford or Pedro or save? I think this save. I don't. If Pickford is against Sheffield again, he has a chance of keeping a clean sheet eventually. Obviously, he'll lose it, but I don't think you should waste your transfer here.
Yeah, you shouldn't waste your transfer on goalkeeper
Yeah.
this week. I think after the international break, you'll have more information and you can make a transfer when you're set with your team and you have to three transfers and you probably would be needing to burn them if you don't make the transfer. With Pedro, if you have a bench, probably bench him. And if you have a free transfer, I'd say sell him for whichever striker there. But I'd still prioritize midfield.
There's another benching question. Henry, Gusto, Estupinian. Which two would you start? So we have Gusto and Henry onto the list. Henry plays Bournemouth, so I think Henry is top
Henry
of my
and
list.
Gusto, I guess.
Yeah, top
Henry
of the list.
then Gusto then Estupinian.
No, then Trippier. Yeah, so we add Henry first.
Yeah, after I think they go ahead of Trippier.
Yeah, so it's a combined list. If let's say wherever your player is, this is how we rank it. This
Yeah.
Henry, Gusto, Trippier, Estupinian, Kabure, Saliba, Baldock.
Yeah.
I think I am sort of switching Baldock a bit more above Kabure. Maybe I just have a feeling if you want to take a chance.
Everton at home is a decent fixture. Yeah,
decent
fair
fixture.
enough.
So just one thing, I am just cross checking it, and then we like there's some news.
Yeah, it's about the transfer.
No. Callum Hudson-Odoi, if that's what you're talking about, that's also there. Also, there's news that Foden is starting confirmed tomorrow, but I don't have it from. I don't know if it's the genuine source you usually get news from. So there is apparently news that Foden starts tomorrow. Jota apparently it was midweek. Okay, so that doesn't matter. Foden starts. So yeah, that's it. And with respect to what I was talking about, chances conceded, Everton have conceded about maximum chances from their left, which is 10 chances, which is where Baldock will, I think, operate. And that is why I've put him like slightly above. I think if I'm right, that's where he will operate. So yeah, that's my rankings as of now. I've put it on purpose there. He didn't play the midweek
Do you
game.
think? Huh?
He didn't play the midweek game though.
Baldock didn't, and he also got substituted around the 70th minute
Yeah,
mark for
70th.
Bogle, who came on and scored against Man City.
Yeah. Although that I don't know if that really makes a huge impact, but again, he did not.
Yeah, I
play
think
a
Baldock
midweek
starts this, even if because he didn't play the midweek game. I'm guessing. I think
game. Yep.
long term, I think it's gonna be between the two. So Baldock probably is a sell when you have the money and you have the transfer. I'm actually looking to do Baldock to
Yep.
Udogi next week, as I pointed out in my
We have
team
to also.
selection video.
Yeah. We need to add cash to this list. Where would you put cash? About
I
Trippier.
probably think just above Saliba.
Cash above Saliba? I wouldn't. I think about at
I-
least
I
about
don't-
Estupinian. He's got the
It's
attacking
Trent's
outlet
side.
to him.
It's
Yeah.
Trent's side that will be attacked this week, and I see Dini as
No,
being the more
Robertson's
attacking
side.
player.
He'll be attacking
Yeah, no.
Robertson's side.
So though they would want to ideally attack Trent,
Attack
right?
Trent's
Because
side.
that's where Liverpool's weakness is. And I probably see Digne being the more attacking player, and that could mean Cash plays as a defensive right back or Konsa starts over. So I don't know. I don't see him appealing, and they're probably gonna concede away at
Maybe
Liverpool.
I'm putting about
I
Estupinian. Not maybe not. Yeah.
I don't think ahead of Estupinian because there is, yeah, I think after Estupinian probably.
Yeah, after Estupinian, I think that's where I've put him. Would Sterling be starting? Yes, he will be. He was rested in midweek. He was spotted in training, so it's okay. That's not a problem. Okay, we'll just go rapid fire. I think we've completed the bench list. We'll also show my team and yeah. Quick recap by Sterling over Madison. For me, Sterling over Madison because I feel I think the next two games for Tottenham on paper aren't that easy as they look. I think Burnley will be giving them a tough fight, and very likely we can see Sheffield also starting to play a deep block against Tottenham. I expect that to happen. So yeah. Okay, we'll quickly take up more questions and Q&A. So we'll not add more people to the list unless very essentially required. Uh, play two, Ake or White. Cash Ake or White.
Ake, Ake, and
Okay.
White. No, Ake and White.
Yeah,
I guess
Ake White because they could
because
be a
White has
nil all
slightly
game. Yeah.
more attacking play.
Udogi, if you have him, he's top of the list. I will. Yeah, he's probably a player that we need to.
I think adding Chilwell and Udogi doesn't make sense because if you have them or the City defender, I think if you have them, you have to start them. So there's no negotiation of forwards. I think Chilwell is ahead of Udogi. Chilwell, Udogi, and City defender.
Yeah, I'll just add
Probably that.
any city defender that you have needs to start. Yeah. Okay, we can go back to the Q&A. There's 13 minutes left for any West Ham news. No, there's no West Ham. I think we expect the same lineup. We don't have it. Could you please write best midfielder for this week? I think we have put it down. I think I'll just put it out in a
Opinion?
second.
Opinion,
What changes
I
are we
put it
making?
in.
What changes are you making?
I have made my change. I removed Martinelli to Madison.
Martinelli to Madison.
Yes.
I'm still figuring out whether should I go Sterling. My only worry right now is if Nottingham are playing a back three and like two defenders and two CMs, will Chelsea be able to even go past them? But I think
Yeah,
overall,
I don't know. I just feel like from last season they've improved leaps and bounds. Nottingham as a defense, and this is a game there could be. I think this is not the Luton fixture, so
yeah.
you don't see another Sterling Hall as such. So I probably a goal, maybe. I don't see a Hall like
I
nowhere
don't
close to
expect
19
a haul,
points.
but I expect like a jammy goal and a jammy or a jammy penalty.
Probably.
That's the maximum I can expect. But okay, I'll show my team as well. Where is it? Okay, we'll complete the bench. We've done this, and here's my team. Here's my team, guys. This is how we are setting up as of now. Turner Pickford. So I'm removing. Obviously, Martinelli goes out of my team, and there is an obvious. I still feel Sterling is the good replacement. When I look at Madison, the Sheffield again. I think I will back my thought process with Sterling and how Tottenham play. Confirm my transfers. Pickford starts in goal for me, so I'm doing that. As of now, Kabure was in. I might switch it to Baldock, so I'm just. For now, I'm putting him first. Switch. I have put Saliba out on the bench, which is second on my
Yeah,
bench.
I also currently have Kabure starting over Estupinian. Probably going to change it,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just have a small feeling that it's just there could be something. But that being said, I think looks like
Yeah,
Estupinian is
this
the
is how
more
my team looks like right now.
sensible thing to do.
Yeah, so, he is attacking. I know Newcastle are like a good defense, but again, when he's one of the most attacking defenders of this season, you don't bench him. So hence why I put Saliba out. It doesn't make sense to me benching the best best defender of the season. So in terms of attacking output, so I would not take a chance there. In all fairness, I am not going to bench him. Okay, this is what my team looks like. Baldock Kabure is the 50-50 I'll take in the next couple of minutes. Eze greater than Sterling. I wouldn't Eze again. Good fixtures, but not great output as of now. Sell Rashford or Mitoma for Madison. I will sell Mitoma first. I think so will Akhilesh.
Yeah.
Do I sell Sterling for Madison or Sterling or Sterling? Do I sell Rashford for Madison or Sterling or say the transfer? I think Madison again. We put out the rankings. That's what you should do first.
Madison or Sterling. I think you just
Either
have
or, but
to
Madison.
trust your gut in that.
Let's not sit on the fence. We put out Madison first. Play one out of Estupinian, Colville again. Estupinian, Jota to Bowen or Martinelli to Bowen.
Jota. No,
Jota,
he
Jota
didn't
is a
start
longer
last
term
week.
hold. So Jota has fixtures turning around.
Jota
after
didn't
this.
start last week. Jota
So,
didn't start last week. Martinelli will start every
that's-
week. Martinelli is number one choice. But with Liverpool, I think if you with Endo coming into the team, the midfield three is going to be Endo, McAllister, and
Slobosly.
Soboslai. And when Gravenberch comes in, he's probably going to be in the midfield. So I don't see Gakpo going back to the midfield now, and which makes me think that Gakpo probably starts as the false number 9 most weeks than not, and then that means Diaz. It's left to Diaz or Jota, and currently Diaz is in great form, and unfortunately he didn't play the 90 minutes in the Newcastle game, and I think he would be one to like raring to go against Aston Villa. So I probably think Jota has benched this game.
Okay. I mean, he's
That's
the
why I
Liverpool
feel.
fan out of the two, so I will leave it up to his answer, honestly. And I will trust it. Tushar says Udogi, Saliba, Chilwell, Guardiola, Kabure. Start three. I will start Guardiola, Chilwell, and Udogi. Start your best defenders. And Saliba first bench, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think this. Akshay Khanna says Salah, Pedro to Madison, Jackson, or White, Pedro to Udogi, Jackson. I think Salah, Pedro to Madison, Jackson. Hands down.
Yeah.
Invest there.
Yeah.
Bruno or Akanji to start. Both of them.
Bruno.
Both of them. You can't bench Akanji.
Yeah, you can't bench Akanji against.
Bench anybody, but it's bench Saliba or your Arsenal defender. Don't bench Akanji. A lot of people have Pickford again. Start Pickford. If you have Johnston, start Johnston. Is starting. Pickford keep this week. Don't sell. Downgrade Saliba to Udogi for a second free transfer or save the free transfer. I mean, you can use it as a second free transfer. I would do it. As a free, yeah, I don't mind. Start Solanke or João Pedro. Start Solanke.
But I'd say the Udogi one. I'd say if you have another route, then probably do that.
Yeah,
If not,
I mean that's his call, obviously. But if you're buying Udogi for a free, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Start Mitoma or Watkins. I think Watkins. That's the fixture.
Watkins.
Yeah, that's the fixture.
Yeah, I think he's playing the worst defense.
Yeah.
So
worst.
Watkins.
I mean, calling your favorite team the worst defense.
Worst.
Worst defense.
Worst defense.
Rashford or Madison, is it worth the -4? If yes, let me know. Rashford or Madison I think Madison for a -4 is decent still this game week. It's not necessary to take a minus hit to get Madison. If it's Rashford to Madison, it's not necessary. If you want, you can go there. But would we do it ideally? If you have like Foden plus Sterling, I wouldn't do it. If you have like 2 out of the 3 or 4 top midfielders this game week, I wouldn't do it.
And if you're confident that Madison outscores Rashford +4 in the next 2 weeks, then you do it. But personally, I don't think I'm confident because Arsenal and United is a historically open fixture, and I'd see both teams scoring in that. And Brighton, as we mentioned, is leaky, so I see United scoring a couple of goals there as well.
Okay,
and Rashford also probably is gonna get a goal in these games.
Yeah, I just wanted to prompt last 6 minutes. Jota and Martinelli to Bowen and Sterling or Madison. I would go Bowen, take a punt if you can. Sterling or Madison, again 50-50 call. Ideally the sensible decision is to go Madison, but again if you want to punt, you can go Sterling based on my theory. Anderson or Henry? Henry, I think Henry is the better one.
Anderson also has Wolves at home.
I would back Henry. I think Bournemouth are like decent and Brentford look decent defensively. So.
I mean, 2 good defense against 2 not
good attacks.
Clean sheet fixtures. Probably, I think Brentford are slightly the better defense. Bournemouth are slightly the better. I think you can't go wrong. That being said, I think Henry is a little more attacking, so probably Henry.
Okay. Anshuman, are you going to make any other moves, or is this your only move? That's the only move I'm making, guys. I'm not taking a hit. Jota and Martinelli, again, we answered it. Start Ake or rest opinion? I would start Ake.
Okay. There's a good
Ben-
chance Ake starts.
Yeah. Bench Akanji or Bruno or Baldock? Only one. Bench Baldock. Start Akanji and Bruno.
Yeah, we showed the benching things, right? I wouldn't bench. So if you can go back to the bench, bench itself.
We can quickly put it up. This is my final team, guys. So with Kabure and Baldock, I'm still looking out for some data, and I will let you know if I switch. But as now Baldock is in the team, Kabure first bench, Saliba second bench. That's how my team is looking like.
So I would only play Kabure or Baldock ahead of defenders. So I'm not going to play them ahead of midfielders. And we looked at the priority. I wouldn't play any of these ahead of the first three. So City defender Udogi Chilwell. If you have them, you play them. And Henry also, Kusto also. After that only you can maybe take a call of playing either Baldock or Kabure. I think you can play Baldock or Kabure over Dean, Trippier, Estupinian, Cash or Saliba if you think. But this is the order which we've given. But if you think you have a gamble, but there's no gamble worth taking out of the first five.
Yeah. Do you think Kudus starts? I don't know for sure if Kudus starts this one. There's no news, so I wouldn't really risk it. Adam says starting 11: Onana, Chilwell, Walker, Estupinian, Trent, Madison, Mbeumo, Saka. Should I make a transfer this week? Your midfield is Madison, Mbeumo, Saka, Bruno, Watkins. It looks good. I would bench. It actually is a decent team. I can't really complain with Trent in it. So that's your structure.
Yeah, I think it's a 4-4-2, right? So
yeah.
That's because Trent is there. So if you have Trent, that's a decent enough midfield to have. Yeah.
A lot of people asking why bench Pedro. I don't fancy him against Newcastle. Newcastle is a good defense. And with Guardiola rumor, yes, it's a rumor, so I wouldn't really look into it. I need to figure out one thing before I finalize my team. I'm trying to figure out the data for Kabure. Do you know by any chance how many shots he's taken?
Not too much. Let me just look at it.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up. Has he taken more shots than Baldock? 3 minutes. I will open my team.
I feel like he's been more attacking. From eye test, I think he's been more attacking.
Yeah, from eye test, he's been more attacking.
From a clean sheet point of view, I back the Everton at home.
I don't think there's a clean sheet potential, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like you're not believing in clean sheets in any of these games.
Yeah, I just want, like, if there is a chance for a attacking return, which guy could get that? That's what primarily I'm interested in, and I think I'm looking at show only selected players. 3 minutes. Kabure 1 chance created, goal attempts 2, penalty touches 4, in shot inside the box 1, XGI 0.31, big chances created 1, and he looks like the better guy to me. And because when I look at for Baldock, none. The only good
Nothing.
One penalty.
No shot on target, no shots in the box.
No goal attempts, no shots inside the box. XGI is 0.02 for the last 6 games. XG is 0, XA is 0.02, and only 1 penalty that touches. Bonus point also is he's less on BPS. So Kabure is the guy. I will make that.
And if you're starting a City defender like I am doing, I'm starting Guardiola. I'd put Kabure ahead of Baldock in the bench.
Then I've put Saliba ahead of my ahead of Baldock in my bench. I will just quickly show it to people as well. I think I will be able to before it is deadline. I'll bring it up. My window capture is here. Transition. Here's how my team is looking. Here's what I've done eventually. Okay, last few questions before we wrap up because it's about 1 minute left. Start Bruno or Pedro? Start Bruno, man. I don't think there's a
Bruno.
Martinelli out for a hit for Sterling. I would do it. Actually, for Sterling, I would take a chance.
No, I don't think I would do it.
I would do it. Yeah, I think.
You can decide based on this. I don't think I would do it because I think Martinelli could like United are not very solid defensively. I think they have been leaky.
Onana or Turner? Quickly, I think I start Onana.
Onana.
Yeah.
Onana ahead of Turner.
Guardiola rumor is just a rumor. I would start Guardiola. Ignore the rumor.
Yeah. Just coming to the Martinelli point, I feel like United are more leaky at the defense, and with Varane also being injured, I think if Martinelli starts, this could be a game very probably. So for this fixture, I like Martinelli, but going forward, I don't. That's why
it's a good player that you're selling again. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't remove him for a hit, personally.
Yeah. But again, That's it. That is deadline. It is deadline. That's our team. Uh,
Yeah,
Pretty
we
close
locked in.
one. Yeah. Kaburi will concede 3 plus tonight. I know. So with clean sheet potential again, I don't expect either teams to keep a clean sheet. It was only goal threat, and Kaburi looked drastically better in terms of goal threat in comparison to Baldock. So why not take a chance? And it also made sense. Everton have been putting out XG. I think they'll score. I think Dukure will be on the score sheet this game week. Again, if I had to put money for someone to score, it is always Dukure from Everton.
Yeah.
I
And a
mean, yeah,
lot of
he
different
made a
transfer news
change.
now. That
I have his team, but he made a change. So, I mean, wait, where is his
you
team?
can show my team. I can let
Yeah,
him work on
yeah.
it.
Where is your team? Is this you have Baldock on your third on your bench? No, that's my team. Wait, I have your team as well.
I switched. You can show the
Yeah,
one Cabores on the bench.
here's the team. He's made one transfer. Obviously, he's done Martinelli to Madison. Here's how he lines up.
Yeah, I've done Martinelli to Madison and Cabore second in my bench. These are the two things I've changed from this team.
Yep. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's
basically
about
have
it. I
nothing.
think a lot of questions will have been answered this time. Madison for a -4, I would have done it honestly. Martinelli to Madison, I would have taken a chance. Estupinian to Trippier
Yeah,
infield. It's
fair enough
something.
for you.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's
But
just a
I don't
question.
know. I just, you know,
Like
Dinosaur is
because
so
he's
much.
asked it a couple of times. Trippier, wait and watch. I want to see how many chances does he create in this one, and what his position looks like without Botman. So that's two questions that will be get answered.
Hmm. But Botman is not too much of a worry. The Champions League is the worry for me.
Yeah, I mean
The
overall we'll
cramped
figure
fixtures
out
is the worry for
how
me.
they look like and what the rotation
I
looks like.
don't know what level Newcastle will maintain is the worry for me. I don't think
Yeah.
Botman is the worry for me. Trippier will continue to play at right back. Livramento is also capable of playing left back. So doesn't mean that like Trippier will go left back, and they have
No,
Lewis
it's
now.
not about left
So
back. It's basically whether Trippier will be given the amount of width and attacking space without Botman, because they from the left they tuck in. That's essentially what Newcastle do. Without Botman, that's not really possible. That's the only worry I have tactically out of how Trippier could be going ahead.
probably.
But anyways, will Pickford drop in price before game week 5? I think he will. I think yes, because a lot of people will sell him this game week if he doesn't
You
keep a
take a
clean
look
sheet.
at who's probably going to.
But yeah,
Price.
there's Bowen starts. There's news about that. The rest looks great and fine, normal as usual. But yeah, we'll wrap it up. We will be doing the on review on Sunday. Sorry, and
Yeah.
the preview next game.
We have an international break,
Yes, sir. We will.
so
So maybe if you guys want some sort of content, you can suggest it in the comments down below of this video, and then we can pick that up and do
yeah, we
that
will
with the
be coming
best.
with some content over the international break.
But like
Yeah, if
whatever
you
you
have
guys want to see, you
anything,
can.
any preferences, we come with that.
There's no news on kudos. Sorry, I mean I don't think I found anything. Brentford
Again, I
has
mean, it's a new
okay.
signing,
Oh,
right? We can wait and watch. Huh.
okay. I didn't. I genuinely. I could have played Baldock. This news really changes it. Brentford have reached a verbal agreement with Neil Maupay to sign from Everton, and he was pretty much accumulating a lot of XG from Everton.
This is there earlier on. I
No,
thought I read
this
it earlier,
came,
but
came
I
out
didn't
like
feel like it would. No, it was there earlier. I
I
think
didn't see it. Yeah,
for
I
like
didn't see it.
5-6 hours back. I just went to the mix of things.
Yeah,
I didn't feel it was like a very important news to mention it, but I don't know. Still, I think the Everton are. You are so confident that Doucouré will score. So
no. If someone,
why
yeah, I would.
bother
But
about
he's
Maupay?
been accumulating XG. You can't really disregard the fact that Maupay
He's
has
been
been. Yeah,
accumulating XG ever since 2020.
yeah,
So I don't really trust Maupay to change anything with respect to Everton. They have signed a new striker,
yeah.
Beto, who's
They've signed
probably
someone new
gonna
as well. Yeah,
start.
yeah.
It's probably gonna start. Who was anyways gonna start ahead of Maupay.
Okay, we'll figure out if Doucouré ends up scoring this game week as well. But yeah, thank you guys again. We'll wrap it up. If you have, I would have started Baldock too. Yeah, I don't mind really. Let's see. There's a lot of vibes, and also it makes you watch the 12 p.m. game right now. But
Yeah, that's one thing I've also wanted to do something with competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just went with my mind and no benching is stupid and no. So yeah,
Uh,
I'd say that.
yeah.
that
Last question
looks,
Deep has
looks
been
fine.
asking. Is it safe to have 4 million defenders throughout the season? Yeah, I don't think it really matters. With the amount of defender options we can rotate, yeah. I think it's still better to have a 4.5 and a 4, because that 4.5 is easily rotation material, honestly, with the combinations people are getting. But yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, on that note, we'll wrap it up. Guys, please, before you leave, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Really, we're trying to put out as much as content as possible every game week. So it would be really appreciating of you guys if you hit the like button and subscribe so that we put out more content regularly. And yeah, that is it. We will wrap it up from our end. This is the FP Tips team. Anshuman and Akhilesh signing off. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.